Cutting Edge Benefits podcast with Tom Quigley of ClaimLinx. Tom, the subsidy sunset is coming. Only 21 days. 21 days. My prediction, I think it was completely wrong. As I was talking to one of your colleagues, a
Yeah.
friend who I'm going to be working with, and she told me, she says she doesn't think it's happening. She thinks government shutdown in 2026. But let's see what it's going to look like. The benefits that you were able to hook me up with have gone up 400% or so. I don't even want to tell you the number, but I'm still going to do it. Still looks good to me. But the
Yeah.
subsidies have disappeared, and it doesn't look good at all. If in 2026 the rates that everyone's getting, especially if they were going through the Affordable Care Act, it looks bad.
Well, it is what it is. They didn't take away subsidies. What they took away was the enhanced subsidies.
Enhanced, but those
So
are huge.
yeah, and there's a cliff now. So if you're an employee spouse and the number's 81,000 and you hit 81,001 cent, you have to pay back your whole subsidy. So it's like there's no layers anymore. It's the cliff. It was the cliff before, and it's the cliff again. So you've got to make damn well sure that what you estimate as your income is going to be your income underneath that threshold. So, there's craziness. I have a client in Maine, him and his wife's rate was going up to 2,800 a month from I think it was $70. So I explained to him that you've got to keep your income under 80,000. If you can do that, you'll pay the same amount. Actually, it was a little less. But if you can't, uh, your choices are 2,800. He goes, I'm just going to go uninsured. I'm 64. I'll take a gamble for a year. We'll
And
just write it on my
honestly,
wife because
I
she's
mean, but there's a
6 years
real
younger.
gamble because you can go through third-party services
Mm.
that are virtual and get the certain health care, and then figure out a way that you can be healthy, right? But it's really scary. That's the
Well,
option people
why
have
do you
now.
buy insurance, right? Transfer risk. So that's all it is. It's transfer risk. You buy, and then the trouble is people think their kitchen sink and everything should be covered, and they pay a lot more money for that kind of insurance. Where if you just look at health, just get a catastrophic plan underneath, use a health savings account or a medical expense reimbursement plan to pay for your out-of-pocket tax-free if you use it. But to be caught without catastrophic coverage is a quick way to go to bankruptcy. You claim bankruptcy or you set up a payment plan the rest of your life. Those are your choices.
So how much is this going to hurt the economy next year?
It's like, obviously it doesn't help. They need to extend the subsidies. And if they truly want to have a solution for health insurance, they need to work on it, extend it 2 years and work on getting a policy that could actually work. What they're talking about giving Americans health savings account, giving them money, that's a joke. Give me a break. That's just
But that's not
laughable.
going to get passed by the Democrats, and then
Well,
the
it shouldn't.
Republican it won't. Go ahead.
I mean, I'm leaning more right than left, but I'm going to tell you this: I'd vote against that. That's stupid. You're trusting the American people with the government, the taxpayers' money to make wise decisions on something that they haven't educated. They need to the whole part of the system on insurance. They really need to start educating kids in school, high school, grade school, about what insurance is, so that when they get into life, it's a life lesson. They don't do that. They do such a lousy job, and even at college level, it's awful. These kids are out there; they're clueless what they should do, and the companies, no one has a clue how to buy their health insurance. And what I'm finding are people are starting to go, hey, the current system doesn't work. Well, no kidding. I've been saying that for 25 years. The system didn't make sense prior to the Affordable Care Act. The
Right.
Affordable Care Act itself is not a bad law. They're making no pre-existing and there's no limits. It's not a bad law. There's nothing wrong with the law. The problem is that if you're the government and you're putting in all these regulations and all these things. Like, why am I paying at 57 for maternity coverage? Why is any guy paying for maternity coverage? Why are any ladies paying for men's health issues? The whole system, they need to have options. And you should be able to carve things out, but the basic, 10 things you should have. I agree with a lot of it. But the problem is the pricing when you do that are outrageous. And then the constant, if the government wants to be involved, I've told you the solution. But if 50,000 on every American bought the reinsurance from the savings on the increased taxes pays for it, and let them go at it. But the problem is throwing money into a health savings account and thinking that the people are going to buy the health insurance correctly is just laughable.
No, they're going to need somebody like you, Tom. That's for sure.
But the problem is they're relying on these commission group health agents, get nothing more than commissions on group health. And I sit there and I laugh because people listen to it. I have a company in St. Louis that's thrown away $1 million because the agent was trying to say that what we're doing is wrong. And it's like, of course he is. He loses 100,000 of income. Of course he thinks it's wrong. I would too. But these people listen to these clowns. What's the problem?
And the way it's going to happen is, as I know from hearing the news, that if that sunsets, they're going to have another government shutdown in January. So again, we're going to be in this another struggle again to figure things out, and they're fighting for this.
Yeah, but by that time, the trains left the station. I mean, they need to fix it now. They need to extend it for a year, 2 years, and work on it jointly and come up with something that is logical.
But I heard that I don't think
the Affordable Care Act itself, there's not, like I said, that's not the issue. The issue is they need to allow variance. Like the Constitution initially, they came up with like amendments, right? Well, that's what they need to do with the Affordable Care Act. They do that, there won't be any issues.
Now, do you feel there's a chance by the deadline that something changes, that happens?
They got to understand the politics. In my opinion, the Dems look good on this one. And you got all the people who are affected are the people who vote, the upper middle class, the people who donate money and stuff. They're the ones who should be mad at the Republicans for not being joined.
Right.
Both of them aren't, but the Dem, I think this is a winner for the Dems, but they made a mistake. They looked like fools on that shutdown. Why would you're fighting for something, then you freaking vote and get nothing done? That was just pure stupidity. So, so they both look bad, but the issue is they got to do something, and they got to get people. They're relying on these like National Association of Health Underwriters, which is a country club, a social club for health insurance agents, and they're listening to these people who are all about commissions and group health. That's it. That's all they care about. And I sit there and I'm like, hey, listen, put me on. I will show you how to take advantage of every angle, from the government funding certain things to the private industry. You're trying to force insurance companies who are stock companies, and you're getting paid. I mean, how do these politicians go in, both sides, go in as average Joes and they come out multi-millionaires?
It's another entrepreneur way.
Yeah.
Sad. True.
And I could sit in front of a crowd. My issue is I don't want to be shot. I'm not in the mood to get shot because they wouldn't like me. I would be not very.
The other side would not like you,
way.
Tom. You could.
No, I think both sides they're clueless. I've talked to several of these politicians who you see on TV. One of them, next door in Hillsborough, he said, "Why are you the only guy I've ever talked to who has an answer and a solution?" And I go, I don't know. Why don't you? And he didn't do shit.
Oh gosh. Okay. That's a good way to end it for tonight. But go to claimlinx.com to schedule a call with Tom today. Maybe, Tom, there'll be a miracle before December 31st. We'll find out.
A Christmas miracle or
A Christmas miracle. Something has to happen. Maybe a market crash would make it to do it. As I'm hearing, we're closer, but we'll see. That's what Kiyosaki says. So we'll see.
whatever he says, you know. That
Exactly.
and 6 beers or a couple hits of the bong pipe